everybody. This is After Midnight Noodles, KO Slime with the DOS Boys Vintage Story Edition. I just wanted to do a quick video log of our Vintage Story playthrough so far. We've made it all the way to Steel Age, and we are just about to depart for the end game Secret Lost Village, which is about 13 or 14,000 blocks southeast of our starting location. So before we go, I just wanted to do a quick video tour of our compound here. So here we are. This is a few blocks away from the spawn point in Vintage Story. And we built this cute little cottage. Started off with a little bit of there was a natural lake here, and we started off with a dirt hut and went through all the ages. And this is what it looks like now. So let's do a quick tour. So here we have the first bit, which is like the kitchen, and we've got the hearth, and we also have, all of our tools here. We did this floor out of the swivite stone and the polished chalk stone, polished swivite and polished chalk. We have a nice hearth. There's a triple fire clay oven and a triple burners there. We've got the resonator in the corner. Here we have a tall display case with some of our most valuable treasures. We have our tools. And then in this room here, we have most of all of our storage. So stacked our chests there. And here was our starting forge, which got us through the Copper Age, the Bronze Age, up until Iron. And we used to keep our beds here, but then eventually we decided to make a second floor. And so once we did that, then we moved our beds and everything up there, and we'll get to that in a minute. So, we designed this here little mosaic of a tree and the DOS Boys sign. And back here is our workshop. So this was kind of end game workshop. Got us through from the middle to the end. And we've got extra room for ingot making here. We have our pulverizer, which is made to be an automatic machine there. And this is all powered by a windmill, which has two fans on it. We'll show you that in a minute. So there's a nice flow to this base. Here's the quern, and we can take a quick trip upstairs. And this is the treasure room slash bedroom. So this is like all the treasure that we found throughout the world so far. We have a bunch of different things from the dungeons, and we have a bunch of different stones and rocks and gemstones and maps, and we have our armor sets that we use throughout the ages. We have our primo storage here. Another little hearth up here, and some of our clothing items that we found and made. So that's the treasure room. And this here opens back up onto the roof. And you can see the windmill there. So we'll take a trip down to the cellar. So the cellar is here. And this started off with just this upper portion, which was our first cellar. So this dates back to the Stone Age and the Clay Age. And in here, this is kind of where we kept our grains towards the end. Got some apple cider and wines. And then we expanded on that original cellar and we made both the cheese and veggie room. We have all of our extra veggies here and fruits, pickled veggies. Then towards the end, we started making some cheddar cheese and milk and stuff. And then on the opposite side, we have the brandy room. So this is where we were doing most of our alcohol towards the end and our pickled veggies. So here we've got some more pickled veggies on the go. Here we've got some rye flour on the go. And then over here we've got, apple cider and turning some of these things into rot. And we've got the pear brandy and the rye whiskey. Um, so yeah, that's a nice spot down there. Infinite water source in the middle. So let's take a walk outside and see the rest of the compound. So there's both the front door and the back doors. We'll go to the front, back through the kitchen. And we come out to the dirt path and we can see the garden. So this used to be a lake and we just kind of filled it in and made a garden out of it. Turn around so you can see the structure. So that's the cottage. That's our cottage. It started off, like we said, with the birch room, and then we just kind of expanded on that and did the wattle daw, and then eventually built a second floor. And none of it was really planned, but it all just kind of flowed together nicely. And back here, we've got the barn. So in here, we've collected both goats, or sorry, these bighorn sheeps, and we've got them up to generation 2 and 3, I think, for the most part. And they've been good for making milk and cheese. And then over here we have our pigs. So these guys are generation 4s and 5s. There might be some 6s in there now. They're still making babies. So lots of pelts there and meat and fat. And here we have our elks, and we've got these guys loaded up. We're about to go on this big long journey. So we've built this house. We just spent the afternoon building this house, and we're gonna transport it all the way to the new spot and build it there. So we might do that in a future video. Yeah. And what else can we show you here? So this is the barn, and we'll go over here. This is our chicken coop, our second chicken coop. The first one we built too close to the house, and then we learned that the chickens really should be further away from where you spend most of your time so that they can do what they have to do. But here is the chicken coop, and we have generation 8s, generation 9s, almost 10s, almost a 10, almost a 10. But yeah, see, they're kind of scaredy cats, so they need to be able to sit on this for enough time to hatch the eggs. Okay, so yeah, that's that. And on this side, we've got the greenhouse. So this was a team effort, much a little bit more modern looking than some of the other buildings, but this has a nice, granite cobble accent wall, and then all the other walls are glass, and we've got some of the terra petra preta soil, and nice place to grow veggies year round. Gets a little bit too cold in the winter, but extends your growing season a little bit. And then this one here is the berry farm. And in the beginning, we were using these to eat and whatnot, but then towards the end, we were using it just for rot and making this here compost section. And This here is the orchard, and this is pretty much completely full. We've got a mixture of pear and apple trees, and goes back as far as the eye can see. And on this far side, we have the bees, and they're going to repopulate for the season, I would hope. We just used a bunch of them to make wax so that we could travel, make our end tier bags and whatnot. So, and then this here is the kiln. So we got the checkerboard pattern. Can do a lot of stuff at the same time with this. This is kind of where we were doing our charcoal over here in these holes. And this is where we built that building. We just like built it and took it down, and then we're going to move it to the new spot, like 15,000 blocks away. So we'll just do a perimeter sweep here. This is like the back area. A little bit more work, landscaping could be done to this area, but for the most part, it works. And yeah, let's get a. I mean, I think it turned out pretty good. So this is the DOS Boys Vintage Story Starter Compound. All done in survival mode, vanilla, and I think we did a pretty good job. It has a nice little flow to the area. So we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Um, yeah, we have this huge journey ahead, and I'll probably film that too. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we inspired you guys to try this game out. It's really, really fun. It's a lot of fun to play with friends and explore and build and, discover the world of Vintage Story. So, yeah. And here we've got this is our dinner, our last dinner. We've got the cheese pie, which is the best pie in the game, and we've got a whole jug of brandy there, or rye whiskey. And yeah, we're just about to do this adventure. So, until next time, guys.